Multiverse, a shadowy, grotesque reflection of the multiverse above. Here, infinite broken mirrors reveal twisted versions of familiar worlds, identical to their brighter counterparts, but for a single, tragic twist. I am Tempest Fugit-Not, guardian of these fractured realms, tasked with protecting each universe from the chaos of the others. Of all the worlds I observe, one continually draws my attention: Earth, a planet of mighty heroes and unparalleled dangers. And within this Earth lies Gotham, a city of darkness and determination. In most versions of Gotham, a young boy named Bruce Wayne experiences a life-altering tragedy. The murder of his parents sets him on a path to becoming the Dark Knight, the protector of his city. Over the years, foes rise to challenge him, including an enemy from his past, his childhood friend, Thomas Elliot. Elliot, a man consumed by resentment and driven by malice, adopts the name Hush. Using cunning manipulation, he pits Batman's allies and enemies alike against him. But this is not the Gotham we know. In this version of Gotham, Bruce Wayne and Thomas Elliot are more than friends. They share a bond like brothers, forged by circumstance but destined to unravel. What happens when the lines between ally and adversary blur? When the twisted reflections of the Dark Multiverse seep into the bonds of trust? This is their story, a tale of betrayal, ambition, and the dark shadows that linger in even the brightest hearts. In this Gotham, tragedy casts an even wider shadow. The infamous night in Crime Alley, the night Thomas and Martha Wayne are murdered, is not witnessed by Bruce Wayne alone. The Elliots, close family friends, are there as well, forever bound to the horror of that moment. When the dust settles and the echoes of gunfire fade, it is the Elliots, not Alfred Pennyworth, who take Bruce into their care. But their intentions, however noble, are overshadowed by their limitations. Unlike the steadfast support Alfred could have provided, the Elliots lack the means to truly guide Bruce through his grief. Years pass, and Thomas Elliot, the boy who once stood as Bruce's closest confidant, is left to watch in anguish as his friend spirals into madness. The darkness born that night in Park Row doesn't just consume Bruce Wayne, it changes Thomas too, and reshapes the very fabric of Gotham itself. What was once a tale of vengeance and justice becomes something far more complex and harrowing. The bond between Bruce and Thomas, forged in tragedy, becomes a catalyst for Gotham's transformation, one that will alter its destiny forever. A voice from the Gotham skyline. Welcome to the dazzling heights of Gotham Glitterati, where the city's elite come to shine. Tonight, we take you inside the grand opening gala of the Omnic Center, Gotham's newest architectural marvel and a symbol of its ambition. Among the luminaries gracing the event are some of Gotham's most talked about figures. Arriving with bold confidence is the young president of defense contractor Redline, alongside Jason Todd, infamous for his dangerous charm on Gotham's nightlife scene, accompanied by the stunning Dinah Drake. Adding to the star power is the charismatic Attorney General of Gotham, Harvey Dent, newly single and as magnetic as ever. And from Gotham's historic founding families, we have Oswald Cobblepot, an entrepreneur and philanthropist who always commands attention. But the evening truly belongs to Gotham's reigning power couple, Senator and Wayne Industries CEO Thomas Elliot and his stunning wife Talia. The crowd is captivated as Talia dazzles in a breathtaking David Coma gown, while Thomas exudes confidence in his signature Tom Ford suit. A reporter breaks the glamour with the question on everyone's mind. Senator Elliot, any truth to the rumors of a presidential run next year? Thomas, ever composed, replies, President March is doing a great job, and the good people of the 5th District need me focused on their needs. The reporter presses on, teasing, as do the folks at Wayne Industries. That's not a no, Senator. Thomas smiles, his watch buzzing softly as he answers, take it however you want. But like I said, I'm happy where I... And with that, the buzz of intrigue surrounding Gotham's elite only deepens, leaving the night charged with anticipation. The glittering facade of the gala cracks for a moment as Senator Thomas Elliott receives a discreet message on his watch. He leans toward his wife, Talia, with a quiet urgency. "I just got a text from my doctor friend. I need to slip out," he says, his tone sharp but controlled. Talia, ever poised and commanding, counters without missing a beat. "You are needed here," she insists, her words a mix of expectation and warning. But Thomas, determined, pushes back. "I'll come back if it's not too late. Don't let that pretty boy psychopath Todd anywhere near you." Talia's response, cold and cutting, leaves no doubt about the power she wields. "Must I remind you who put you where you are? It would be such a bother for the League of Assassins to groom another senator." Her words hang heavy in the air, a reminder of the dark alliances that underpin Gotham's glittering surface. Meanwhile, a reporter in the crowd attempts to maintain the evening's polished image, announcing cheerfully, "As so often happens, it seems Senator Elliott is being called away to serve the people of Gotham." The independent city-state of Gotham, a city that truly never sleeps. From the glittering heights of its skyline to the bustling streets below, its citizens remain ever grateful for the dedication of their elected officials. Gotham has endured countless trials over the years, forging its path through hardship and emerging stronger with every challenge. Its hard-won independence stands as a testament to its resilience and ambition, elevating Gotham to greatness on the world stage. Today, Gotham thrives as a beacon of peace and prosperity, leading the way in culture, innovation, and trend-setting lifestyles. From its iconic landmarks to events like the Omnic Center Grand Opening Gala, the city proves time and again why it remains a symbol of hope and progress. The scene shifts from Gotham's glittering gala to the cold clinical halls of Dr. Crane's lab. Senator Thomas Elliott arrives, his tone urgent as he confronts the doctor. "Dr. Crane, what did you find?" Dr. Crane greets him with his usual detached demeanor, saying, "Senator, thank you for helping us expedite the compulsory legal rituals. At bed check, 3 hours and 20 minutes ago, Gotham security forces were already here, investigating other incidents." The senator's brow furrows. "What do you mean, other incidents?" Crane waves it off, though his words linger with unease. "Nothing of consequence. A few problematic patients have expired in their sleep recently. Still, one of the deaths was difficult to explain." As they walk deeper into the facility, the air grows heavier. Surrounding them are cells that resemble a prison more than a medical institution. Senator Elliott speaks sharply, asserting his authority. "Doctor, since I almost single-handedly fund this facility, I'd like to be kept more in the loop." Dr. Crane, unfazed, replies with a touch of sarcasm. "I assumed your interest in this institution began and ended with my work, Senator. You're welcome to take my seat at all staff meetings going forward." From one of the cells, a haunting voice interrupts their conversation. A prisoner begins to sing a macabre tune. "Hush, little babe, lest you call down. The bloody bat of Gotham town. He lurks above, desiring of a corpse to plant beneath the ground. He knows your heart, your blackest deed, and hunts them down where'er they lead." The eerie song makes the senator pause. "What's that song Tetch is singing?" Dr. Crane sighs, dismissing it. Some tiresome little rhyme he made up about Arkham's devil. Intrigued, the senator probes further. "Arkham's devil?" Crane explains reluctantly. "Something from Amadeus Arkham's journals during his occult obsession. He claimed to have seen a bat demon here generations ago. He wrote that it passed through walls and doors at night, silent as a shadow, killing patients. A few have recently claimed to have seen it." Elliott's tone sharpens as he connects the dots. "The other deaths you mentioned, did they have anything to do with..." Crane cuts him off. "No, Senator, please, I assure you." Yet the tension remains, thick in the air, as the shadows around them seem to grow deeper. This is no ordinary institution, and the secrets it holds threaten to spill into Gotham's already fragile world. The scene shifts to the stark, cold confines of the morgue. Senator Thomas Elliot and Dr. Jonathan Crane stand over a shrouded body. Dr. Crane's voice is clinical, almost detached. Bruce Wayne's death was a simple accident. Senator Elliot's expression darkens as the reality sinks in. "It's true then, Bruce is really gone." Dr. Crane nods, continuing with his cold efficiency. "You'll have to do for next of kin. Now that you've officially identified the body, I'll tidy up the formalities here." The senator hesitates before asking the dreaded question. "How did he?" Crane responds matter-of-factly, his tone void of empathy. "Asphyxiation. It looks as if he rolled onto his face and smothered himself in the night. As you know, he's been practically unresponsive for years. Didn't have the wit left to turn himself over." The senator looks away, grappling with conflicting emotions. God, he was so capable once. At the risk of sounding callous, this is quite a fortunate turn for you. Wayne Industries is officially yours now, yes? Dr. Crane's lips curl into a knowing smirk. "If I may be so bold, I often wondered why you didn't speed things along yourself. Keeping Wayne a vegetable was one thing, but I could have taken more decisive action if you'd asked. Not that I'm complaining, mind. He was an exquisite test subject. None of the others lasted half so long. I'll name my latest fear therapy procedure after him, without his involvement and the waivers you so kindly provided." The senator's composure snaps, his voice cutting through the room. "Dr. Crane, don't talk about our arrangement ever again." Crane raises his hands in mock surrender. "Of course, I'll show myself out. Feel free to stay a moment, to say goodbye, or whatever you people do." As he turns to leave, Crane stops, almost as an afterthought, and adds, "By the way, there's something in his hand that might interest you. He was holding it when we found him, which was odd." The senator's brow furrows, confusion laced with unease. It was never in his cell before today. What secret does it hold? What message does it send? Gotham's shadows seem to grow darker as the senator stares, the weight of his actions pressing heavier than ever. As Dr. Crane exits the morgue, the eerie, haunting voice of a prisoner fills the air. "I am the Bat of Arkham Home. Your souls belong to me alone. In gloom I wait, my thirst to sate on meals of steaming blood and bone. He. Crane's patience wears thin as he looks toward the source of the chilling melody. "Give it a rest, Jervis, would you?" he says, irritation coloring his tone. From his position, a man cleaning the floor grins mischievously. "Careful, Doc. Floor's slippery," Jervis replies, his voice carrying a hint of playful malice. Crane sighs, visibly exasperated. "Sigh, is there not some other time you could do this sort of thing?" The man, unfazed, chuckles to himself, his mop continuing its rhythmic swipes across the floor. "Ha ha ha! You want me to mop later than this? What, like 2 in the morning? Folks would think I was one of the crazies." Dr. Crane doesn't respond, walking away with his frustration barely concealed. Behind him, the dimly lit hallways of the facility seem to absorb the unsettling energy of the moment. In the dark corridors of Gotham's twisted institutions, even the mundane tasks like mopping floors carry a sinister edge. This is a world where shadows speak, and madness lurks just beneath the surface. Suddenly, the oppressive hum of electricity is snuffed out, leaving the facility in absolute darkness. A sharp, unsettling plop signals the blackout. Dr. Crane's panicked voice pierces the silence. What?" From somewhere nearby, the calm yet unsettling voice of Jervis answers. "No worries, Doc. We get rolling blackouts at this hour sometimes. I'll go get the emergency lights on. Kick, kick, kick." Crane's voice rises, trembling with fear as he realizes his predicament. The door's locked. Why is this door locked? Jervis, seemingly unfazed, responds with his usual unsettling nonchalance. Sit tight. Emergency lights will be on in a jiffy. But Crane's fear intensifies, his voice desperate now. Wait, come back. Get this door open. In the suffocating darkness of Arkham, the air grows heavier. The unseen takes on a life of its own, amplifying Crane's terror. Shadows and fear blend seamlessly in this twisted tale, where even the flick of a switch can feel like a descent into madness. As the darkness engulfs the room, a haunting melody echoes once more from the prisoner's cell. Hush, little babe, and go to sleep, but say a prayer, and best beware, and may your rest be long and deep. The eerie song weaves through the air like a sinister lullaby, amplifying the tension. Then, with a sudden flicker, the emergency lights buzz to life, casting the room in a dim, flickering glow. But the illumination brings no relief. Instead, it reveals terror incarnate. Emerging from the shadows, the Arkham's devil materializes, a monstrous, fearsome figure from Gotham's darkest myths. Without hesitation, it strikes. Shra! Shrup! Slack! Shrack! The room erupts in chaos as the devil savagely attacks Dr. Crane. The sounds of ripping flesh and the doctor's panicked screams fill the air. Blood splatters the sterile walls, and the scene becomes a horrifying tableau of carnage. This is not just a legend from Amadeus Arkham's journals. The devil is real, and its vengeance has begun. High above Gotham's outskirts, Senator Elliot sits aboard his private airplane, returning from his visit to Dr. Crane's facility. The hum of the engines fills the cabin when the pilot's voice cuts through the intercom. Did you do what you needed to do back there, Senator? The senator, reflective and distant, responds with a faint tone. Just visiting an old, I suppose so, old. But before he can finish his thought, the tension shifts dramatically. The pilot's voice now trembles with urgency. Something on the radar. Incoming. The cockpit erupts into controlled chaos as alarms blare and warning lights flash. Everyone strap in. I can't pull out of it. Look out, there's people down. The words are cut short as an explosion tears through the aircraft. A missile strikes with devastating force. The plane spirals uncontrollably, plummeting toward the ground. A deafening explosion follows as the wreckage crashes, shattering the silence of the night. Boom! The fallout marks the sudden and catastrophic end to Senator Elliot's flight, leaving questions in its wake. Was this a targeted attack? And what lies ahead in this dark and twisted tale? Amidst the wreckage of the downed airplane, chaos erupts. Inside, the soldiers frantically assess the situation. Who's hurt? Everybody still with us? One shouts. Another grimly reports, pilot's dead. In the midst of the turmoil, Senator Thomas Elliot keeps his composure. He activates his emergency communicator, speaking with urgency but control. This is Thomas Elliot. Code Red extraction. 2 Wayne units on my location immediately. But outside, the situation is deteriorating. The sound of approaching footsteps and voices grows louder. The attackers, armed and enraged, surround the wreckage. A soldier yells in desperation, "There's nowhere to go!" A commanding voice from the mob pierces the tension. "They're coming. Get the senator out. That's Thomas Elliot's ship, one of the architects of our corrupt, broken city. The ones who murdered my father, the last good cop in Gotham. Outsiders, avenge Jim Gordon and take back your city." The attackers surge forward, their vengeance boiling over. Among them, a masked figure moves with deadly precision, cutting through the chaos. His blade strikes mercilessly, stabbing a soldier through the chest. "I've got the far right one. Anank, Hwak." The assault is brutal and calculated, leaving little doubt that Senator Elliot's life hangs by a thread. The attackers breach the wrecked airplane with deadly intent. Inside, they dispatch the remaining soldiers protecting Senator Thomas Elliott with chilling efficiency. One of them steps forward, addressing the senator directly. "Nice to meet you, Senator. Big fan. Don't worry, Senator. Your fellow evil oligarchs will be with you very soon." Just as they prepare to deal the final blow, their plan is interrupted. Out of nowhere, a figure strikes with precision and fury. The masked assailant is stabbed through the chest by none other than Gary's son. Gasping in shock, Gary looms over him and sneers, "You know who I am?" The remaining assailant, now visibly unnerved, answers hesitantly, "You're Gary's son." Gary corrects him with an air of undeniable dominance. "I'm the Gray Son." The tension escalates as the two face off in a brutal fight. Blades clash and blows land with calculated precision, but it becomes clear Gary is the superior combatant. As the fight concludes, Gary stands victorious. Knowing that, "Is this really a fight you want?" he growls, his presence an overwhelming force. Defeated and unwilling to push his luck further, the remaining attacker retreats. "Someday," he warns, "I'll definitely come back." But for now, the senator lives another day, and the name Gray Son resounds as a reminder of just how dangerous he can be. As the dust settles and the echoes of battle fade, Gary approaches Senator Thomas Elliott, his tone firm and composed. "We should probably get going, Senator," Gary says, urging him to leave the crash site. The senator, still catching his breath from the harrowing attack, looks up in surprise. "Richard, I didn't expect to see you here," he responds, his voice tinged with relief and confusion. Richard, revealing his true identity, explains with calm authority. "President March sent me to look after you personally. This wasn't the only attack. Attorney General Dent and GSF Captain Flass are missing." The revelation deepens as Richard continues. Old news clippings about the Wayne murders were found at both of their homes. The senator's expression darkens, the gravity of the situation settling in. This is no random assault. It's a calculated conspiracy with roots in Gotham's dark history. Inside a dimly lit detention room, Richard stands before Barbara Gordon, his expression calm but searching. "Why is that at least, Barbara Gordon?" "The Oracle herself," he asks, his voice filled with curiosity, yet tinged with a hint of skepticism. Barbara, fierce and defiant, refuses to speak. "I have nothing to say to you, zombie fascist." Her words cut through the air, loaded with contempt. Richard, unfazed, responds with admiration for her resilience. "I'm impressed. The outsiders really stepped up their game tonight." Barbara, unflinching, fires back. "My people didn't bring Elliott and Flass down that airship." Richard presses on. "The attacks on Elliott and Flass I understand. But why Dent? And why bother with the news clippings?" Barbara pauses, then responds with a cryptic observation. "News clippings?" Richard, undeterred, explains the connection. "Your little references to a family mugging 20-odd years ago. The crime scenes all had them." Barbara's face hardens as the realization hits. "Ah, the Wayne murders. This is starting to make a lot more sense." Then she leans forward, offering a piece of vital information. "Okay, Richard, because I want to see where this goes, here's one for free. I'm guessing Senator Elliott's airship was shot down by a LexCorp surface-to-air RIM-72 Raptor, right? There aren't any of those in North America, with the exception of Santa Prisca." Barbara continues, revealing a new lead. "Several shipping containers of structure-grade lumber from Santa Prisca arrived in Gotham Harbor last week, but the recipient isn't a builder. He's the preeminent defense contractor in Gotham. That should be enough to get you back on track." With a final cryptic note, she adds, "Oh, and Elliott, don't worry too much about that little assassination attempt. I think you're about to have much bigger problems." Outside the detention room, Senator Thomas Elliott, overhearing her words, can't help but scoff. "I never liked Old Town," he mutters, the tension mounting as the conspiracy deepens. As Senator Elliot and Richard make their way through the shadowy streets, a subtle tension fills the air. The senator glances around uneasily. Everyone looks at you like they're hungry or something, he comments, his tone a mix of confusion and discomfort. Richard, ever calm, doesn't seem fazed by the weight of the looks. I'm surprised you've even been here before. But Oracle's right. Jason Todd has access to the kind of weapons that took down your airship. If this search turns up something, I want you there for the questioning. The senator nods, a grim realization settling in. It makes sense that it would be him. He's been trying to move up the leaderboards in Gotham for a long time. The two arrive at their destination, a guarded location with high security. Richard walks up confidently, his voice steady and commanding. Well, if it was him, you won't have to worry about him after tonight. At the gate, a guard steps forward, raising his voice in protest. The drones stay outside. Richard doesn't flinch. That's not how this works. I'm Richard of the Grey Suns, here representing President March. This is Senator Thomas Elliott. We're coming in. Our drones too. Stand aside. The confrontation escalates as Richard asserts his authority, determined to push forward, no matter the resistance. As Richard and Senator Elliott enter the building, they're greeted by an unexpected presence. Jason Todd, accompanied by his allies. His voice drips with sarcasm as he calls out, "Elliott, missed you at the after party." And Grey Sun #1 himself. Wow, what brings you two out so late? Richard doesn't waste time with pleasantries. He jumps straight to the point. ARIM-72 Raptor ground-to-air missile. Know anything about that? Jason's response is cold and dismissive. Sorry, Dick, not my brand. Those aren't allowed in this part of the world. But Richard isn't fooled. He knows something's amiss. I recently learned that, and yet my drones just took a radiation scan of this building showing 12 LexCorp ordnance containers 2 floors below us. 12 containers with 11 missiles inside them. The senator, now fully aware of the stakes, adds his own pointed observation. You weren't at any after party, Jason. You left the Omnic Center right after I did, and I saw you on that rooftop. You're about to learn that Gotham's not often kind to revolutionaries. With the truth laid bare, the atmosphere grows even more charged. The tension between the characters is palpable, as secrets and lies threaten to unravel. As the situation intensifies, Richard's voice cuts through the tension. Jason Todd, under my authority as a Grey Sun of the independent city-state of Gotham, I'm detaining you on suspicion of terrorist activity. Jason smirks, unfazed by the threat. And I'm supposed to just go with you because you say so? If you think that's how it works in Old Town, you've been up in your ivory roost too long. With a sly grin, Jason presses a button in his ear. Beep, beep. And in an instant, the drones turn, now targeting Richard and the senator. The senator, realizing the gravity of the situation, scans the room. Wait, I've seen some of these men before. They're with the League of Assassins. Richard, his expression hardening, warns Jason, "You do not want to play it this way, Jason." But Jason, ever confident, responds coldly. The Owls had their time at the top, Dick. The League is on the way up, and they have my back. Talia, too. Sorry, Senator, your girl's ready for a change of scenery. Before anything else can unfold, a grenade suddenly crashes into the room, the explosion shaking the building with a deafening boom. The chaos erupts with screams of panic. Ah, no, please, something in here with us. No, wait, don't. Jason's allies, never missing a beat, open fire, their shots ringing out with a fiery intensity. Pew, pew, pew. Amid the chaos, a mysterious figure emerges, an unstoppable force that tears through Jason Todd's allies like they're nothing. Richard, eyes wide with disbelief, looks at the creature and asks, "What the hell is that?" "That's who I saw on that rooftop just before my airship went down." The senator, looking grim, answers with a chilling name. Dr. Crane called it Arkham's Devil. Richard, not wasting a second, shouts with urgency, "Get out of here! I'll handle this thing, but I have questions for you when this is over, Elliot." With that, Richard charges toward Arkham's Devil, his fists flying, but every punch misses, as if the creature is toying with him. He grits his teeth and speaks to Jason. He seems tough. Jason, ever the strategist, replies calmly. "Settle up later?" Richard responds sternly. "Don't tell anyone about this." Jason, smirking, replies, "Obviously." And with that, Jason opens fire, shooting the creature with precision. Blam, blam, blam. In an all-out assault, Richard and Jason fight side by side against Arkham's Devil. The sound of their relentless attacks fills the air. Bomb, bomb, as they strike with everything they've got. The beast retaliates, but their precision is unwavering. Twim, twim, each blow landing with force. It's a brutal, high-stakes battle as the two powerhouses give it their all, determined to take down this monstrous threat. The question looms, will their combined might be enough to stop Arkham's Devil, or will this creature prove to be too much for even them to handle? As the chaos settles, the senator makes a frantic escape to the safety of his mansion, but his moment of relief is short-lived. He calls out, "Talia." "Why now, Talia?" The woman's voice responds coolly from the shadows. "What? Where have you been, Thomas?" In a tense exchange, the senator reveals the gravity of his situation. "Bruce Wayne died today. I'm about to fully inherit Wayne Industries. Why choose today to kill me?" Talia's response is unsettlingly calm. She assures him, "I lead the League of Assassins, love. I killed my own father. If I had decided to kill you, would I bother to hide it?" But the senator isn't convinced. He presses on. "Tell that to Jason Todd." He goes on to describe how Jason's own League assassins were slaughtered by a mysterious force, and how Todd admitted to trying to kill him, all while under Talia's protection. Talia responds with an explanation. Jason Todd is an asset, part of the League's grand plan for Gotham. The League of Assassins has grand plans for Gotham. Jason has resources we find useful. She also explains their larger ambitions. They intend to put the senator in power, removing any obstacles to his rise, and ensuring control over Gotham's security forces. But the senator isn't buying it. "Well, I think you've lost your investment tonight." He warns Talia that if she hopes to maintain any influence in Gotham, she needs to ensure his survival and keep her hands off his empire. In a moment of sudden realization, the senator grabs a poster from the room. "Mark of Zorro." His voice shakes with alarm as he demands, "Where did you get this?" Talia, unfazed, calmly responds, "I have not been in this room all day." But the senator is insistent, his fear growing. "Where did you get this?" Talia, growing irritated, snaps, "Forget yourself, Thomas." But the senator is no longer focused on Talia. His mind races as he suddenly fears the worst. "He's been here. He's been inside my home. He could be one of your people for all we know." Talia, confused and defensive, asks, "Who, for God's sake?" But the senator is already on the move. Grabbing a gun, he walks away, determined. There's only one place that thing could have come from. As the senator enters Wayne Mansion, he's struck by an eerie silence. Suddenly, he notices a shadow lurking in the dim light. With tension in his voice, he calls out, "Who are you?" The shadow shifts, revealing none other than Richard. His voice cuts through the quiet. "Is there something I should know about the Wayne murders, Thomas?" The senator, caught off guard, stammers, "Richard, you're..." But before he can finish, Richard interrupts, his tone sharp. "Who is he, Elliot? Why does he care about the Waynes?" The senator tries to explain. I don't." But Richard isn't giving him a chance. He cuts in, demanding answers. "Don't lie to me. The attacks, the news clippings, whoever he is, he blames you. What's going on?" In a moment of frustration, the senator asks, "How did you find me here, Richard?" Richard's response is chilling. "I'm the head of President March's security, Thomas. I've had a tracker on you all night, and a bug as well." The tension is palpable as the senator realizes Richard's been monitoring his every move. With the tension escalating, the senator, desperate to regain control, points a gun at Richard and commands, "Get back!" But Richard remains unfazed. His voice steady, he responds, "For months, President March has suspected you might be a vulnerability, that the League of Assassins might make a play for the Wayne fortune, and then the presidency. Now we know it." The senator tightens his grip on the gun, his voice filled with defiance as he warns, "I'll handle it. Don't do this, Richard." But Richard's words carry a deadly certainty. "It's done. 2 flights of Grey Suns are on their way to your mansion right now. When you and Talia are dead, the court will seize the Wayne estate." Then, with cold finality, Richard pulls a knife from his side and declares, "Thomas Elliot, the Court of Owls has sentenced you to die." Before the senator can react, a terrifying roar shakes the room. The Arkham's devil, a monstrous figure, bursts in and grabs Richard, pulling him down with a sickening crack. Crack, crack, crush, croom! As the chaos subsides, the senator finds himself falling into a dark chamber. The eerie silence is broken by a haunting voice, singing a lullaby with a chilling twist. "Hush, little babe, lest you call down the bloody bat of Gotham Town. He lurks above, desiring of a corpse to plant beneath the ground. He knows your heart, your blackest deed, and follows them where'er they lead. Where'er you go, the bat will know and find you with the devil's speed." Confused and unsettled, the senator calls out, "Hello, who's there?" He walks deeper into the darkness, following the voice until he spots a figure sitting on the ground. A familiar face. He recognizes the man immediately. "I know you. You were the Wayne's butler years ago. Arnold or something. Albert. Alfred." The man looks up, his face grim as he responds, "I'm afraid you made a mistake coming here, Master Thomas. A terrible, terrible mistake." The senator, his heart racing, surveys the room, his eyes widening as he notices cages surrounding them. Inside the cages, the grim faces of various figures stare back at him. The realization hits. "Alfred, you did all this. The Waynes are dead, Alfie." But Alfred, ever composed, shakes his head. "Me, sir? I'm just a humble manservant. I serve the Waynes, nothing more." "Are they, Master Thomas? Are they indeed?" A sense of unease fills the air as the true horror of the situation begins to sink in. Suddenly, the horrifying figure of Arkham's devil appears once more, leaping toward the senator with terrifying speed. The senator, in a panic, shouts, "Keep away from me!" and fires his gun in a desperate attempt to defend himself. Blam, blam! But the creature evades the shots with ease. With an eerie calm, the Arkham's devil speaks. "I know what you did, Tommy. All those years ago, your family driver. What you promised him to kill your own parents, and how it went wrong." The senator, shaking with fear, demands, "Who are you?" The Arkham's devil's voice grows colder as he replies, "Who else would I be, Tommy?" Panic sets in as the senator turns and runs, but his flight ends abruptly. He stumbles, losing his footing, and finds himself clinging to the edge of a cliff, desperately trying to hold on. His fingers grip the crumbling rock, the ground below seemingly endless. With inhuman strength, the Arkham's devil reaches down, his sharp nails digging into the senator's hand with a sickening "Skrak-ha!" The senator's desperate grasp is no match for the creature's power, and with a swift, brutal motion, the Arkham's devil hurls him to the ground below. The Arkham's devil's voice echoes with dark revelation as he continues, "Everybody's dead but us. The Waynes in that alley. The Elliots on that road a few years later. The driver killed in his cell awaiting trial for another crime. Even the decent cop who took the call. The senator, in disbelief, stumbles over his words, "You're not Bruce." With a haunting calm, the Arkham's devil responds, "When your parents took me in, your mother said, the boys will finally get to be real brothers." How Dr. Crane laughed when I told him that story. The idea that I was ever like a brother to you, who took everything from me. The senator, trying to hold on to some sense of control, protests, "You died. I saw your body." The Arkham's devil grins darkly and responds, "You weren't my only visitor in Arkham, Tommy. Alfred was always with me, and so was the handyman we planted at Arkham, Jack Napier. When I was ready, Napier gave me the drugs and the autopsy scars that I used to fake my death and finally escape that place. With Alfred's help, I learned what happened to my parents years ago, and Napier got me access to people in Arkham who could help me avenge them." The senator's world unravels as he realizes the terrifying truth. What he thought he knew about the past, about the people around him, was nothing but lies. Lies that have now come to haunt him in the most unimaginable way. The Arkham's devil continues his grim recount, his voice full of dark revelation. People like Amadeus Arkham, who taught me criminal psychology and how to fake a worsening psychosis. Disgraced spy Nick Mason, who taught me disguise, lockpicking, and all things spycraft. Legendary martial artist turned murderer Dolores Madigan, who showed me everything she knew about unarmed combat. Mob assassin Sal Buckets Barusco, who taught me how to kill to leave a message, or without leaving a trace. Casey Callahan, the noted cat burglar and escape artist who escaped federal prison more than 200 times. And Gideon Crow, the infamous Scotland Yard detective turned serial killer, who taught me the art of detection, surveillance, poison, and so much more. For years I've watched you and the others pick at Gotham's corpse. Time to scatter the vultures now. The senator, desperate to regain control, tries to negotiate. We will, Bruce. We can fix things together. I'm powerful now. I'm in a position to help you, to make real change in Gotham. Now that you're back, we can take back the city. From the Owls, the mob, the League of Assassins. We'll start today. We can. But the Arkham's devil cuts him off with chilling resolve. "Day, Tommy. I've forgotten what that is. You will too." The senator, once a man of influence, now realizes that his desperate attempts to reclaim Gotham are slipping away, consumed by the very darkness he once sought to control. The haunting figure before him, once a brother, now a force of unstoppable vengeance, will reshape the city in ways no one can anticipate. The game has changed, and there's no going back. Turning to Gotham's latest headlines, the city is abuzz with shocking news on today's episode of Gotham Glitterati. Big news. In a shocking twist following the disappearance of Senator Thomas Elliott, ownership of Wayne Industries has passed to a former Wayne family servant, Alfred Pennyworth. A recent photograph of Mr. Pennyworth was not available, and his place of residence remains unknown. As soon as we track down this elusive billionaire, you can count on meeting him right here on Gotham Glitterati. The tension mounts as Alfred Pennyworth, the trusted butler turned unexpected heir, takes the reins of one of Gotham's most powerful corporations. But Gotham's elite seem to be just as interested in his mysterious background as his sudden rise to power. The question on everyone's mind: where is Alfred Pennyworth? In other bombshell news, the beautiful Talia has been seen on the arm of none other than Gotham President Lincoln March. Some fast work, perhaps, but with a couple as beautiful, successful, and eligible as these two, who can judge? Talia's surprise romance with Gotham's president stirs up a storm of speculation, while many were left wondering about her past affections for Gotham's own Jason Todd. But with the rash of disappearances among the city's elite, it seems Mr. Todd has also vanished without a trace. Wherever the movers and shakers of our beloved city-state have gone, we say a prayer for their safe and speedy return. The disappearance of Gotham's most powerful and influential figures leaves the city in uncertainty. The glitterati of Gotham are missing, their fates unknown, and the power struggles beneath the surface intensify. And so, it is written, the tragedy of Batman the Silenced. A mad, faceless apparition born from the legacies of the Wayne, Elliott, and Arkham families. In every corner of the Dark Multiverse, few worlds escape the shadow of the Batman. Bruce Wayne, no matter how twisted, broken, or tortured by fate, always becomes the Dark Knight. But in this version, Batman is not the hero we know. This Batman has no Jim Gordon to stand by his side, no Robin to fight beside him, no Gotham police to help bring order to the chaos. Instead, he is surrounded by only his poor, mad servants, those broken souls who have been with him through every step of his descent. And the lessons he learned in the cold, dark halls of Arkham are all that he has left. This Batman's fight is not just against criminals, but against the madness that has consumed him. There's no team, no allies, only the twisted fragments of his past, all swirling together in the tragic narrative of a Batman silenced by his own demons. The tragedy unfolds across this dark world, and in the end, Bruce Wayne may find that even in his broken state, he is doomed to wear the mantle of the Batman forever.